Michael, I've got some people who'd like to meet you.
Hello, Michael. My name is Aaron Corey. I've been following your case for years and still know very little about you. I'd like to know more. About that night. About those involved. Say something, Michael. Say something, Michael. Say something!
Oh my god. And then, like, you have him right there. You've got guns up there on the first floor, not in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you are literally going to burn down your fucking house.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're going to burn down your fucking house. You've got all of these gas lines or whatever. With
That was
like,
over the
I was
top.
like, oh my god.
That was over
this
the top.
is so stupid.
Oh, yeah, it was over the top.
Like, this is so ridiculous.
Well, I
man.
think it was like, I didn't like it either.
Because and then when she
I think
like,
it's supposed to be
pulls
a
the lever,
metaphor, like it's over. This house of whatever that I've
yeah,
lived
but it's
in.
so
I know. I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying I think that was the point.
the way
now,
Ichigo handled it.
Now we
like,
were just. Oh, I'm sorry. What were we gonna say?
No, yeah.
No, that's all right. What were we gonna say?
No, I think you're meaning that like she's burning her past.
Yes,
like,
it's like
her
she's
home
finally
where
can
she was,
move
like, hold
on
up.
now. Yeah.
But again, it's like another thing where she does not see him die, and that's why
yeah, I know. There's already talks of a sequel.
Yeah.
Danny McBride has even talks about it.
They went back and forth on it too, man. They were like,
yeah.
it's a very to me. I mean, it's a cynical ploy. Like, no, this is it, man.
I know.
To drive up sales, like, whoa, man, they're gonna pull out all the stops.
Yeah,
They're really gonna nail it on this one. And they're like, oh, well, actually, no, there'll be another one, and that'll be the final one.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, it's
like
like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like when she pulls the lever, like when they get him to fall down the stairs, and she's like about to pull the lever, I'm like, what's that gonna do? And then
I
the
know.
freaking like
I know. That was over the
grades,
top.
I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Now, it is fair to mention the original ending seemed a lot more understated. It seemed way
Actually,
under
that,
the top.
Yeah, that
I mean,
would have
way
been.
not over
That
the
would have
top.
been. I definitely
They have
preferred
like,
that.
in case you don't know, it's roughly put together. It's not completely understood exactly how it would end, the alternate ending, but it was kind of like they have a knife fight, they get away and ask for help while Michael is like holding his wounds in the forest.
Because he got stabbed a few times.
That's what it was.
Right?
He's like
his
bleeding
hand,
out.
by that
kinda.
point, his hand is busted up from the shotgun. So yeah, he's having some trouble.
Yes.
I guess by that point.
Yeah, and I thought that would be kind of interesting. He hears sirens as he's sitting there, and then they have breathing over the soundtrack, and it's like, could his last breath be possibly his last or not?
And it's also weird. It's interesting to me because it's understated and quieter, and again, it's like you're sitting next to Michael Myers after all this crazy stuff that's just happened, and you're like with him for maybe his last moments.
Yes,
and it's like this weird.
That would be kind of interesting.
Weird thing.
Yeah.
Like it would be creepy. Like like he. Oh, and I was
test audiences didn't like that ending.
They needed something much more
over the
intense,
top.
crazy.
So to be
Which
fair,
if you go, I hate to be snobbish or like elitist here. We had a bad audience. We had such a rambunctious.
That hurt the experience a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
I still wouldn't
unfortunately, I will say though, I think because of the way the editing was done and the amount of humor in this movie, that I don't totally blame the audience for some of their reactions because the movie actually was almost seemed to be trying to get this reaction that they were giving back. That they were reciprocating.
That's the one thing.
It's like,
one thing that really didn't work at all was the humor.
It was
the humor seemed so out of nowhere, and it seemed forced. It seemed out of place in this horror movie. It didn't. It would have been fun if it seemed like natural humor, like you're having a conversation, you make kind of a small joke or something.
Right.
But it was actually like felt like a planned, almost like comedy stand-up stuff.
That's where
crazy.
That's where it's like that's where I get kind of upset or angry, whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, okay? But you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
you will.
just that, like where you say that they actually tried, I would be much less strong with that statement that they tried because...
Well, I just feel...
Because it's so... Because I look at the amount of humor that's in it and the crazy YouTube level editing of how literally the shots, that was one big thing I was going to get into. The editing and was so obnoxious to me most of the way through the
That's
movie.
so
I'm
weird.
like, can you please try to just hold
that's one thing, I didn't feel that at all.
the camera shots and stuff were changing all the time, and it absolutely bothered me so much.
I don't remember. I don't
'Cause
feel like I felt that
It's
at all.
literally what I was talking about, the German expressionism
Yeah, I know.
versus
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Russian
I know.
thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess it might be my expectations from, that I maybe wanted them to sort of emulate the style that Carpenter employed.
Yeah.
But like even you go to H2O, and I just never remember feeling that. I mean, some of the editing all through the movie, it was just like, God, can you stop moving the camera? Like
Yeah.
I don't mean like move,
Yeah,
but
I know what you're
cutting to
saying.
a different angle. Like
Yes.
just it was driving me crazy. I don't know, man. It just
Yeah.
really like totally. I'm not saying a horror movie can't
I know what you're saying.
work with that kind of editing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it just wasn't working for me, and I guess particularly with Halloween. I mean, it just seemed so modern, obnoxiously
It did.
modern.
It did seem
and so,
modern. Yeah, I mean, if you... This is
so that's where I get angry, is what I'm saying, with
Yeah.
between the humor and that editing, where I'm like, you might have tried some, but you totally sold out to what is the trendy kind of modern stuff with that humor and that editing.
That's true. I'm
'Cause
just
it's like,
saying,
oh my God, man.
some of the sequels, though, it just literally bleeds through the film that this was a cash-in. Like,
Sure, no,
Halloween 5, it's just like, you can't help but feel the whole time, it's like, this was so rushed.
All clear.
Nothing above, nothing below.
What about Max?
Adobe, right?
This is not happening to me. Max! Max, what have you done? I'm so embarrassed.
It's what we're here for.
Rescue cats.
Find dogs.
That's a job.
And we love it.
This was so obvious that it was just rushed. Get it done as quickly as you can for as little money as you can.
No,
You know what I'm
I do
saying?
understand
There's a
that,
level
yeah.
of effort in
I just
this
don't think
one.
they should be given too much credit.
Probably
for,
not.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
trying with this new one. I mean,
One thing I was shocked was, I just thought...
I didn't think the editing didn't bother you. I just thought
It
was
really
like,
didn't. I don't
I was like,
remember.
oh my God.
And
dude.
I'm pretty aware of that.
I
So,
mean, yeah, you know what I'm.
Yes, I know
talking
what you're
about,
saying. Like,
but like,
there's
it didn't bother
movies
you,
like, yeah. I mean, you're not talking Michael Bay style, are you? Where it's like I can't even focus.
No, not that the camera is moving.
I know, no cuts. I know, what
But
you're
literally
saying.
just the cuts.
Cuts.
To some degree, almost. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
like
really?
almost like a Michael Bay
see,
level
I
with
didn't-
some of the stuff where I'm like, slow down.
That didn't bother me. I
mean,
didn't notice. Well, let's put it this way. I didn't notice it, so
Okay.
maybe I wasn't paying
I
attention
mean,
to it.
we're probably getting to. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some things like with all the stuff that was happening around us and
That's
this,
true.
and this freaking audience.
Yeah,
Man.
that's true. Yeah,
One of the worst audiences I've ever been a part of. for
it
a
was
movie,
bad. It was bad.
That I can remember. I mean,
Um,
sorry though.
yeah, people were screaming out stuff, and people were having
Like,
full blown
oh snap,
conversations. Like
oh
you said,
snap,
like
oh
you said, you
damn.
could hear full blown
full-blown
conversations.
like
talking
the
about
people-
God knows
these
what.
characters are talking,
Yeah,
and they're just like, yeah,
yeah,
they're just having full blown conversations
Yeah.
over there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is going.
yes, I
The
know.
movie is rolling right now,
Yeah.
and that's not even to mention the lights from the phones and stuff.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It's
yeah.
so obnoxious that people
Yeah, they just don't care.
they don't. I don't know. So anyway, I was talking
I
about the
don't
editing,
think
and
this-
then what were you gonna?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Um,
I do think years to come, this movie will be completely forgotten. I mean, it's just not. I'm just shocked at the amount of like real positivity it got, like when it first came out. But I don't know if that's a symptom of something or hype or. I'm just surprised. Like I would think any Halloween fan would be like, "This is bullshit."
I'm telling you, that's why I get more kind of annoyed and cynical about it. Is that I really think this was played up as some kind of like fan passion project. And that actually not really totally just, I mean, not totally, but it's like, no, you knew what you were doing here, and it wasn't this passion project, really.
I got you.
It's kind of what I was more feeling, that it was a cynical, maneuver to generate interest.
Gotcha.
Because that is a thing nowadays with like, with social media and stuff. You have a lot of, where the audience and the market or the movie business, they communicate a lot more.
That's
and
true.
You have
with
it
each
where
other.
there's like this, the fans can get involved
They can,
and stuff, and it's like, so like, whoa, Danny McBride, he's an actor, but he's actually a fan, and he's been tweeting about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I'd love to see another one, and then oh man, he's he's pushing for it to be made, and it's a passion thing, and it's like, you made a pretty modern, typical
Pretty much.
horror movie here with a bunch of jump scares, too much humor, and I mean distracting humor. And again, for me, the editing was just like, sometimes it really felt like it was like almost like music. Like, is this a music video, or are you really trying to build suspense with the camera here, like the older ones did? Some of the better older ones. I mean, so yeah, that's what kind of gets me like really kind of.
I was really shocked. Like, I thought there were going to be almost no jump scares. I thought there was going to almost be. I thought they were going to rely on atmosphere and maybe make it creepy. I thought it was going to be a real throwback.
Which a lot of it would have been with the editing. Is like
long takes and stuff like
more
that.
Methodical.
I just was shocked. Like, if you follow this timeline, you watch the first one and this one, they are like from different planets. I mean, they are made like from just different. They're almost.
Well, it's old fashioned, dude. The old one's old fashioned.
Well, I'm just saying
it's not cool no. I mean,
completely different. I keep having this image in my head of the original when he comes down the steps towards the end, and it's just like that is so. Just that alone. There's no jump scares. There's music, but when she gets hit and then she kind of falls down.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's at the top of the stairs and he just comes towards the stairs.
Yeah, it's not.
Down the stairs.
Yeah.
So, like I said, okay, so like the one good thing and one thing that shocked me was the abruptness of the kills. Some of the kills.
Mm-hmm.
There was like almost no build up. Like the closet scene was kind of interesting. I mean, there was just no.
The one where you say looks through the mirror or window, and I did like how there was the music cue. Ding! That thing.
Which they dropped after the first one, right? I don't think it's in the second one or any other sequel. They brought that
it's
back.
on the second one?
Huh?
It's on the second one, you don't think?
It might be, but I really
Because he was still involved.
Yeah, you know what? It might be. But after
anyway,
that, no.
I thought that was a nice touch. I mean, there were...
Breathing, too.
Huh?
They included the breathing this time,
there
which I thought was interesting.
Right. There
that
were
was cool.
some... Definitely, the movie wasn't an absolute...
That's what I'm trying to... I'm trying to communicate that I didn't like it very much, but it wasn't a complete, like, washout. Like, nothing... like, it wasn't like... I'm trying to use an example of something. I can't think of something, but I'm trying to use a movie or something.
Yeah,
whatever, but...
Yeah,
what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, that there were some moments where I was like, wow, I wish the rest of the movie was like this.
kind of in that tone, yeah.
You know what I mean? Actually, the one part that I found pretty good, pretty effective, even though the drama leading up to this part was so annoying, teenage, typical... Like, when she sees, when the granddaughter sees her boyfriend kissing the guy, or the other girl, I was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, this is so, come on, guys.
Yeah. Well,
like, nobody gives a fuck. And he's like, no, I didn't do it. He's like such a typical asshole suddenly with her, and of course he throws her phone into the thing, which actually was a thing where I was like, in this day and age with cell phones, I'm like, how are they going to make it so he just doesn't get, the cops called on immediately?
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of interesting.
Yes.
How they did try to avoid that and really make him be able to avoid that kind of situation.
Yes, I got
for a long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, the one part that I actually thought was a really pretty creepy scenario.
Yeah.
Is where, you know, the one guy thinks he can swoop in after the granddaughter's been disappointed with her supposedly current boyfriend.
Oh,
She's
yes.
like, and he's like, you know, you're the most beautiful, funniest,
Yeah,
interesting girl in school, and
Yes.
don't let that loser, you know,
Yeah.
bring you down.
Yeah.
And then he tries to make a move
Yes,
on her,
and
and
it's
she's
awkward.
like, you know,
Yeah.
whoa,
That's
like,
really
you know,
weird, yeah.
and then she starts walking off.
Yes.
And leaves him in the backyard of somebody's
house,
house because
yeah.
they were taking a shortcut
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
to
And the
different
spotlight
people's property.
shoot on. Yeah.
Right, and when he you see him then kind of like look around or something, and he starts talking off camera.
Yes, I know. That was kind of interesting.
And actually, I didn't see when they show you where he's talking to.
Yes.
He wasn't in the shot at first, was he?
No,
and then
but then you
and
see
he
his
kinda moves
mask.
up.
Well, you
right.
see his mask a
Right,
little
and
bit, yeah.
that actually
That was cool.
that was really
I
interesting.
like that scene too.
And then even really when he keeps moving closer as the light
Yeah,
goes
that
out,
was
you know,
pretty interesting. Yeah.
that was interesting
Yes.
because I think I've talked to you about this before, and fans of ours will remember me talking
Oh.
about this concept.
Because there's so many.
We might get there someday, dude.
Maybe.
You know, we don't mean to be
Let's
so
hope.
negative and stuff, but you know, but just
I
you know
think
that
our, I
antis-
think our attractiveness will draw. Okay, what were you gonna say?
but it's just like one of those situations where it's the anticipation.
Yes,
Like
that
he's
was
right there, but
interesting,
he's over there. He's not within arm's reach, like immediately
And
just
correct me if
able
I'm-
to.
That didn't really have a necessarily a traditional jump scare, did it? He just kind of appeared there, right?
When he actually finally kills the kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. At first he's over there,
Yeah.
and that was like really
I thought that was
interesting
kind of
where he's
creepy
like
'cause
talking to him.
the spotlight kept going on and off. I
Right,
thought that
and he
was
gets
cool.
closer.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I
But
thought.
then when he gets right on top of him, it is kind of a. I do feel like I kind of edited a jump scare.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
I felt like I don't know. I did feel like it kind of just worked with how
Yeah.
that scene was playing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good little part.
Yeah, that's not
actually. I
bad.
really did like that part.
Yes.
And trying to think, I thought there was like we said, the breathing.
Yes.
The mask was good.
Yeah, the mask was
The
really
mask was
good.
good.
They really made it look like it was from the first one, just really beat up
Really
and,
beat
and
up,
dirty and
aged,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that worked really well actually.
Uh,
It was good to see that he was normal again. A
normal
normal size.
proportions
Yeah, he
overall.
wasn't like a
Yeah.
fucking bodybuilder.
So
6 foot tall.
and again,
or
the
10
music,
foot tall.
the music was
It was
a
pretty
lot
good.
of the same. You know, he was reusing,
There was some new stuff,
revamping
though.
the same. There were some new things.
It was a cool song. Yeah.
I missed the one little tune that they did not, that John Carpenter didn't remake
Include.
or include, was the one where it's isn't the do do do
You're right,
the
yeah.
slow
Yeah,
kind of like
right. Yes.
where there's another tune that would play all through the original,
I know what you're talking about.
and
It's like an off kind of. It's just a very light piano thing. Well, they all are, I guess, but
I don't know. It was just another cue that was
Yeah.
kind of lighter. It
Yes.
wasn't as menacing, like maybe as
Yes.
the main theme. You know,
the humor really almost never worked. I mean, it
well, it's like I don't.
And then, like, when the
do
dad-
we really want that? But I guess
like
you know.
I don't think the idea.
Oh, the dad was made up to be.
I know the
such
comic
a
relief.
bumbling
I know,
idiot.
the
I'm
comic
like, come
relief. I know
on,
he was just
man.
there for comic relief.
I know it's always like, you know, he's the clueless father who
like,
doesn't, you know.
I didn't mind it. Like they show a little bit of that, like when they're having dinner. You know what I mean? Like, there's no overt, like, this is a stand-up comedy routine.
No,
But
right,
that's, like,
that's
just
right.
a family having a fun time. He's, like, high-fiving them. It's just like a
You're
dad
right,
trying
it's
to be
more
cool,
natural,
trying to
you
be
know,
natural.
They might make a little quip, but nothing like.
Yeah. But
you
then
know.
you have, like, oh, peanut butter fell on my penis. It's like, what?
Oh my gosh,
I was
that
like,
was so.
I was like, that seems really...
how does that even fucking
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah, I was just like-
you were wearing clothes, weren't you?
I was, well, it just was like, oh, this is so
I
obviously a
know,
bad joke.
I know. Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
it was so jarring.
Yeah. And it just,
And And then like yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like I've talked more than you during this.
Oh, I mean, and then like the what was I gonna say? Just like when there is violence and dread going on,
Yeah.
it's a lot of times, too many times, over the top.
Well, I agree.
I mean, even when there's not like a killing happening, like I saw it in the trailer, this part, and I was like, oh, I just hope this is like some stupid, you know, the trailer editing house like is just doing their normal crap.
Yeah.
But when he's like, Michael, I brought something,
Yeah.
and he's like, look at it, say something. I'm like, what doctor? Like, this is so like, come on.
Well, he's not
man.
a doctor.
No, but the doctor's right there with him, and you
well,
think
we find out that whatever he's.
but he is a doctor.
I know.
And that,
No, to me, the biggest sin of that scene is the other mental patients.
You feel it, don't you, Michael? You feel the marks. Say something, Michael.
Reacting. I thought that was so over the top.
it was.
I was like,
It
what
should have
is...
definitely been toned down. I wasn't totally against maybe because they live with this guy.
I didn't
in
think the guy
proximity.
going,
Oh, well-
it was like, what?
There were a few. I just think they should have
I know
toned
what
it
you're
down. But
saying,
again,
yeah.
it's like they're acting out because maybe they know who this guy is,
Yeah,
and they're
that's it.
expressing themselves in
They
whatever
didn't express
weird.
it very well. It's
No,
over
I
the
know it
top.
was over the top
Yeah, it
and
was
weird
really
and
weird.
strange,
Yeah.
but I thought it was an interesting idea.
I
Like,
guess,
he's not
yeah.
saying anything,
Yeah.
but these mental patients, in the best way
Feel
they
it,
can,
yeah.
are expressing themselves like, "Oh man,
This
like
is a
this is
problem,
you know
yeah.
whatever." But yeah, that scene, like that's what made me like so annoyed with those characters is like they didn't. If they were really trying to go for the the typical like that the reporter or the podcasters like
They
trying to
didn't-
get the story as best they
Yeah.
can. They didn't. It was like weird mixed messaging. Like they were earnest sometimes,
All right, well-
and then sometimes they were like, we got to do whatever it takes to
Yeah.
make a story we can. I was like, well, what do you want?
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
They didn't bother me that much. I knew they were going to be victims. I knew that what their purpose was.
I was worried that they were going to be in it through the whole movie.
No,
and it was
I
going to be
figured
like
it out. That,
us being with them because we're the
yeah,
audience and
yeah,
we're
yeah.
following along.
Yes.
And yeah, that was what I was worried about. I was
Yeah.
glad that didn't pan out.
Yes.
He died viciously.
Yeah, just when the credits rolled, so my overall impression of it was just like, I was so underwhelmed by it, and just
Yeah.
like, this is it? Even the ending was sort of abrupt. Like, I thought, is there going to be a little more to this? And it just cuts to the knife, and it's like...
That was a weird thing, too.
Yeah, it was just like, over. I'm like, that was it?
That was a weird... Yeah, that was a weird...
And as we said earlier, it was reshot, so that might have explained why it was a little weird or kind of off put or
Yeah.
off edited. A little weirdly edited.
And of course, like we were saying, there probably is going to be another one.
This movie's breaking a box office record, so unless there's some kind of protest, maybe from John Carpenter and Blumhouse, which I doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, again, what it boils down to, I think, what can you do with this character? Like, what is the purpose of a sequel? It's like...
Well, that's why I'm saying they should have ran more with that they are family.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's why
Well,
I actually think it actually could have, helped. And
I see
again,
what you're
how
saying.
it made some of those scenes make more sense. Like I'm like,
well, don't you think also they could have played the angle, the psychological effect on the family, like a little better and a little more? Like that would have gave it a little more depth? Like how the wife was affected by her mother's behavior and explored that even a little
Sure.
more than they did.
Sure.
Well, because you're doing something different, like a new
Yeah.
angle on it, and I don't know, it's just like the way it is now, there's brief glimpses of it, and it's like at least that would have been something different. But it's like once he comes to Haddonfield, it's like this is just another slasher movie. I don't really get.
that was the thing I was gonna say too was when he does start killing.
Yes. Again,
It's
that's
so indiscriminate. Like I'm just like, well, what is
oh, I got
like he's just walking around like killing people and like I felt more of a purpose or a draw. You know what it was too? when he comes back to Haddonfield, you don't see any of like the landmarks or the
Yeah.
like he doesn't like try to find his house.
Yeah.
He's just like, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
Better start killing, and you don't. He doesn't try to go back to his house
Yeah.
maybe and be
Yeah.
like, maybe you could think he's angry because
Yeah.
somebody's living in his house now, or
Is that how you think they justify his like violence? Like, I mean, his aggression and anger that he's been holding all this in for 40 years. Is that part of the reason you think they allowed himself to be that aggressive? You know, like bashing people's heads and stuff. You think in their head it's kind of like, well, he's been holding this in, like it's finally like time.
I mean, I guess so.
I
But
took
again,
it. I took like what you were just saying when he came to Haddonfield. I took it as he's on the lookout, obviously, for Laurie Strode. Yes.
Yeah,
And,
but they
and it's
could've-
kind of like he's going from almost. I almost thought, are they going to literally show him going from house to house looking for her and just killing everybody? You know, like everybody in their house or something. Like even one of the first kills, he stabs the girl through the head, and he looks at her head and then drops it, like her head, and drops it. Like that's not her, you know, and drops it. It's kind of weird.
Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
actually. You're right.
That's how I took it. He's
Okay.
in Haddonfield. He's on a mission. Almost.
And she would look a lot older.
Yes.
Obviously.
He doesn't-
So
yeah.
he maybe is
Yes.
not totally sure how she looked. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
literally probably just going off memory.
Yes,
Hasn't
yeah.
seen a photograph,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything. That's true, actually. I didn't think about that, but
I took it as
still-
that he has no idea where this woman is. So he's back to his hometown or whatever in Haddonfield, and
well,
you know what I'm saying.
they could have maybe like shown him somehow trying to look for that information without killing people.
Yeah, I know. I
You know what I
agree.
mean? Because
Yeah.
like he's not supposed to be dumb.
I know.
It's just that
but don't you think it
obviously.
would have been silly if he's like looking through records?
Well,
I mean, it'd be
they
like-
could have. I just think they
Yeah.
could have implied it. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, they
like
did an
they-
H2O.
What does he look through a phone book or something?
The nurse's records. They never show it, but they see all her records.
That's right.
Like
Right,
everywhere.
that's a way you can work
Yeah,
it out.
because-
Like
yeah,
you
being
know,
goofy,
Be
yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And I hated how like the new doctor is such an obvious like a slight like variation, but kind of a rip off of Dr. Loomis. Like
He's
how
like
he acts.
eccentric.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
eccentric.
it's
He's
just
got a
the
very
kind of
distinct
even has the
voice.
accent and stuff.
Yeah, he has
it's
his voice
like-
and stuff. I'm like, you're just,
yeah.
you know.
Even Jamie Lee Curtis, the character at one point goes, "Oh, you're the new Loomis." Like you're the
Yeah,
new, like it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess so. That's the story.
And I will say, thinking about it, even though I don't, again, like the twist, it is kind of, I guess, kind of interesting to see, like, because when he,
What twist?
when he, with the doctor actually being like obsessed, whatever, is that when he first sees Laurie
Yeah.
in person, he's like,
Yes.
oh my god,
Yeah.
and he's like weirdly like excited,
interested. Yeah.
and I'm
yeah.
like, you know, now thinking about it, you know, it's like, okay, maybe that's some, you know.
I think they were trying to surprise us with that. I mean,
Yeah.
and I was surprised when he took out the knife. I was
I
like,
was.
"What the fuck is going
Right.
on here?"
Right.
You know,
I was surprised that character died, because you
the sheriff or the deputy,
the deputy, whatever. Because you know,
I
they're
thought he was
actually-
going to see it through to
Right,
the end, like
yeah.
the original or whatever.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that it was contrived. Maybe it was just put in there to surprise us. The kill, the doctor killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could argue that maybe that didn't really make that much sense, but yeah, I just think it boils down to.
Well, I was going to ask you one other thing real quick,
Mhm.
and then we probably bring it to an end.
Yeah, I mean we're like. Yeah,
What did you think of like the callbacks? Because I found some of them.
Some of
I
them
feel
were
like
fine. I mean,
Some are fine, but again, like with a lot of movies nowadays, when they make a sequel so many years later, it's like, you know, you've had. It's kind of like I keep thinking, like you've had all like we've seen those original movies like millions of times, guys.
Yeah.
Why don't you make your own iconic scene?
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know, I mean, I would say that with a lot with the new Star Wars
I agree. I mean,
trilogy that's coming out.
don't pay homage to anything. It should be you. You know what I mean? You should make like you just said. You should make the next classic scene.
Yes, right.
Classic dialogue.
Right.
Don't do it. I hate that. I really do.
So like when you see, I was
The girl, she's in the classroom.
that
That's
one
a
was
throwback.
like, okay, right? I know.
It was surprising. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is out there. That was kind of weird, but whatever.
And then Laurie, and I did like that scene actually where I didn't think, like, I thought Lori was going to be in her house the whole movie.
I was
and
surprised
like, you
too.
know, but she's like, oh, she's actually going to see her granddaughter. But
I
there's
thought she was
obviously
going to be
some
like a
weird
hermit
rift between,
like,
right?
Yeah. I thought that I was surprised by that too as well. When she showed up at the dinner, I was like, oh my god! I thought like whatever. So
Right. Yeah, it was. But what was I gonna say? But the other callback, homage, whatever, is when he throws her out off the balcony.
yes,
I was like,
I actually didn't mind that. I will be honest. I didn't think that was that bad, and I thought it was interesting that he gets distracted and then looks down and she's gone. Like the opposite. Kind of becomes like the hunter becomes the hunted kind of thing. The opposite.
the performances though. I mean, I thought
The performances were pretty good.
Were fine. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis was fine given what she was given to do.
Exactly.
It was a little. I felt like there could have been more actually with her.
Yeah, I do too.
A little more range of motion.
Yeah, a
Sort
little
of.
bit.
I've never considered her like any great actress.
Not bad, but she's not bad.
No,
Yeah.
she's not.
She was deeper, which is weird in the first one.
She was what?
Like deep, her character was like more rich. I feel like in the first Halloween
Oh, you think so?
compared to what we get here. It's very one whatever.
I don't know. I'd actually say she was. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
She wasn't the deepest character, I don't think, in the first one
Well,
either. But like,
I'm saying compared.
okay.
There's at least a little more. Yeah, I guess not really. She's
I mean,
kind
not
of
that
just
it's a big
generic.
deal, but,
Yeah, it's
it's
just kind of a high score. Yeah.
Right. But otherwise, yeah, none of the performances were really particularly like a sore thumb. It was more just how they were written. A lot of them either acted stupidly or acted really like, there was the one pothead character who was kind of like,
I
okay.
couldn't believe that. That felt so cliche to me. It was
I know.
like, this is like in every fucking slasher film. There's always a one stoner dude.
I know, man.
In all of them. I'm like, I can't believe we're doing this in
Yeah.
2018.
I know.
thought. I'm like, I figured this stuff would be done with. Like,
Right.
move on.
It's because it's also like it's not a big deal, like
Yeah.
in the sense of like it's not such a taboo anymore.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that was like part of the thing.
I think it
Initially,
was.
like, whoa, it's transgressive. Like
Yeah.
but now it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's like legal in almost like half the states or something.
Yeah,
somewhere,
exactly.
But yeah, that character was like, okay.
Yeah, I know. So lame.
Yeah. Going back to the beginning of the movie, though, something I forgot to say that I did like was the opening credits.
We were saying,
the
opening
with the
credits.
music.
Yes.
It was really cool. It was very nostalgic, but it was a callback, but it was a callback that's like, well, that's almost like a tradition for this show, for this movie, those movies now, and so, and with the pumpkin, like instead of like it's coming up, like they reverse the footage or whatever of it rotting. So that was cool, and I remember thinking, wow, like there's no other visuals.
Yes.
Like this audience that I'm with, who is like, I'm sorry, seem to have kind of a short attention span, or just was like thrill a second kind of thing. It was like, wow, are they gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
man?
ring the
Like,
bell immediately. Yeah.
I need a music video when that's because that's almost what they become with a lot of movies, is like a music video.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the credits are rolling or starting up, and it's just like bam, whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
So I agree. We'd rather watch H2O over this
I
again.
know, which probably people will be shocked because that movie gets a lot of
It
backlash
does.
for some reason, and I don't really understand it. Sure, it's
I think-
dated. It feels very very specific for its time frame. It feels very, late '90s.
But I don't get that though, because couldn't you say the same thing about the original? That it's late '70s.
It feels
late,
very '70s.
I mean, I don't get that dated thing. I mean,
You're right,
if
you're
we're
right.
talking about old movies as it is.
You're right.
Like that's just like a given that it might.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get when maybe James Rolfe or somebody like that says that. It's like, well, dude.
Yeah.
You review old movies all the time. Right?
Yeah.
You literally have to say that as a disclaimer every time.
yeah.
It's dated, but
I know what you mean.
just take it as it.
For what it is. Yeah.
Right. It was fun in a way to go see it, but
It was fun.
You know,
it was
just
fun
to see it on the
be
big
in
screen for a
theaters
new- right.
and seeing a new Halloween.
right. And with the original cast not being a remake, or at
Yes.
least one of the original cast members.
Yes.
and that John Carpenter did the music. That was cool.
That was cool.
You know,
Yeah.
but still, the end result was not
that great.
no. So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks.
We got a jump cut here. We're pretty tired now.
Yes.
So, but anyway,
Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching. Tune in next time. We might talk about The Quiet Place or something.
Yes.
Another movie.
Yes.
So,
A Quiet Place.
another movie.
And please subscribe
Please subscribe.
if you want.
See you later, guys.
See ya.
Oh, I didn't cut.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Kill. Another classic in the back.
Oh, yeah.